Sound never gets old, huh?
Yeah, I clipped my fingernails yesterday, so they're very short. That was actually tough to get that thing where it needed to be.
Like riding a bike, Edward. Like riding a bike, you'll figure it out.
I did figure it out.
Yeah.
How are you, Michael? It's been a while.
It's been a minute, man. It's been too long, Eddie. It's been too long. There's too much going on in this world that is just weighing on people, and there's not enough of us. Is what I think personally.
Not enough of us. Not enough positivity.
Yeah.
Not enough empathy. Mm-hmm. Not enough, love in the world.
Not enough love. Not enough common sense. Not enough reality. I think they've turned the world into a reality television experiment, but it's very unrealistic.
Yeah, if you made a movie about 2020 2 years ago, everyone would have said that is the most fucking far-fetched, ridiculous thing ever. They'd be like, I can believe it if a couple of these things would have happened, but you can't have 17 really strange things happen in 1 year.
All of them. Turns
out you can.
Yeah, it's wild. And it turns out Michelle told us to turn off our notifications, and I did not. So we just got a little ding right there. It is.
Well, you're pretty familiar with a little ding, aren't you?
Oh!
Teed me up for that one.
People, you're short. I said, only when I'm standing up. So what about... I feel like, before we get into anything serious, I feel like we need to congratulate the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are the world champions in their respective sports, baseball and basketball now, huh?
We're not going down that road again, but yes, congratulations to Los Angeles.
Did you watch any of the World Series?
I'm going to be honest with you. After the Braves went out in classic Atlanta fashion, I very much lost interest. I watched a bit of most of the games. However, I did not watch the game last night. Was there one last night?
There was a game last night.
Yeah,
Dodgers
I knew that
won.
They won. I wasn't sure if it was last night or the night before.
Did you see all the drama? It had nothing to do with baseball?
No, I did not.
Their third baseman had a COVID test come back positive, and they pulled him out of the game in the seventh inning.
Hang on, what's this COVID thing that you talk of?
It's part of that 2020 movie there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I haven't been watching that movie.
So odd, right? That the test comes back in the seventh inning when the Dodgers are up 2-1. They're like, all right, I think we can pull him now. He's COVID positive. They pull him out of the game for being COVID. He'd been in the dugout with all of his buddies, all of his teammates.
High
five. Yep. Hanging out with the manager, who is a cancer survivor. So imagine he's got a strong immune system, right? And they pull him, they quarantine him in the clubhouse, and then an hour after the game, he comes back out on the field to celebrate with his teammates. COVID positive.
Well, as I've said for the past sort of 6 months now, literally everybody is winging this. Literally everybody is making shit up as they go along. It's like, yeah, we can have kids in school. And then across the street, they're like, no, we can't have kids in school. And then across the other street, it's like, yeah, we can have like 10 kids in a class. And then somebody else is like, I think 12 is the number, right? And then you got these, sporting events, and they're like, yeah, we shouldn't have any fans. That's probably a bad idea, Yeah. But then some of them are like, 25%, 22% will be okay.
Chiefs had 16,000 people at Arrowhead a couple weekends back. Like 16,000 people. What?
Meanwhile, you can't have, 8 people out of your family at a gathering unless you're outside standing on a 12-foot pole with a balloon over your head.
We had a COVID scare in the homeschool classroom this week, which is I probably shouldn't even talk about. It's kind of like, you don't talk about a no-hitter during the game, because as of right now, we've dodged a bullet, but I guess we'll find out within 14 days, which is also probably not even real. 14 days, 12 days, 10 days, who the fuck knows? So hopefully all the kids and parents and grandparents and neighbors are all safe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I mean, there's no consistency in this country. That's point number one. But then you can go pick another country, see what they're doing. It's like completely different.
No, we're all gonna get it.
Or we've already had it.
Yeah, or we already had it. Yeah, There's no solution to this. No solution, despite what you might see on cable news, because everyone thinks they've got something figured out, right?
Sure.
No one does. No one does. Eddie, so do you watch any news? I know we talked about this bit during quarantine and trying to stay away from the news. What do you tune into at night when you're at home?
So, when this all went down in March, I think March the 12th or 13th was like D-Day,
March
right?
12th, I think, was the day his shit hit the fan.
I watched the news every single night for a good hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Fox and I watched CNN. I actually watched CNN more. And at first I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And somewhat educational. You know, I thought the information was
At that point, we felt like we were watching history.
Yeah.
Which I guess we were, to an extent.
And then, you know, the longer I watched it, the more I realized that there was no real new story. It was just doubling down on whatever story whichever channel was telling. They were like, you know, all in. But the main reason, I haven't watched the news, not 1 second of the news, for probably 3 months. Because it was putting me in a bad mood.
Yep.
I was semi-depressed.
Probably drinking heavily.
Heavily, yeah. You know, yeah, so I haven't watched the news recently to answer the question.
Good. Fuck the news. Fuck Fox News. Fuck CNN.
And then the other part of the question, what have I been watching? You know, the same shit that I was watching before, Golf Channel, heavy dose of sports, ESPN, you know, a couple of stupid shows. My wife makes me watch The Bachelorette. I hate it, but I was watching.
Yeah.
And then, you know, The Voice. Yeah, I watched a little bit of The Mask.
Would you ever have done one of those Bachelorette shows? Rewind to Eddie 2003. We want you to.
I don't know that they would have.
They wouldn't have picked you,
me,
but
yeah, I think it would be hilarious, and I would be the guy at the pool crushing natty lights. You know, not in great shape, but not terrible. You know, and I would have just kept it real.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at the end of it, the Bachelorette would have picked me and said, you know what? All these other guys are just trying to be famous and be on TV, and you're just here being yourself, having a good time. I'd then get her, and then I'd get the big contract on TV.
Yeah, there you go. Share your singing voice with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I having a hard time with TV.
And then I'd split up with her.
Yeah, you introduce her as your first wife.
Yeah.
I'm a Springsteen fan.
No way.
I am. Yep. So The Boss, right? A new album coming out. Okay. Now, this is my problem with TV now. The news channels, but even the friggin' late night shit, right? They have Springsteen on Stephen Colbert's show last week. Okay. Now, regardless of your politics, I think it's safe to say that Springsteen is a fairly
hardcore Democrat.
He's a hardcore Democrat for sure. That's what I'm saying. But
Stephen Colbert is also a hardcore Democrat.
Correct. Again,
I don't really watch him. But
I think he's a fucking douche. But when we get to my point, though, is so if the goal were to educate, or not even necessarily educate, but have a conversation with the other side, right? You'd think you'd want to engage the other side and give them a forum where they might think about listening, okay? Right? So you got Springsteen.
Like, on today's show, Bruce Springsteen, Bernie Sanders, and
so you've got Springsteen, who again, like Chris Christie, New Jersey, huge Springsteen fan, huge Republican, right? So all right, I'm going to watch Bruce on Colbert tonight. Maybe they'll talk about something of value, right? And maybe someone who might think differently might listen, and they might start finding common ground. Like, okay, I can see it. Yeah. And then there's unity.
Oh, we both want a decent healthcare system, not the one that we have now that is utterly shit.
Exactly, right? So I'm thinking, all right, so this
The Non-Affordable Care Act.
This might be an opportunity where people can come together and start listening to the other side rather than the divisiveness that you get all over the place. And so I turn on Colbert, and he spends solid, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes before any guests just lampooning Trump.
Right.
Which means that, number one, you're just pandering to the fucking people who are already watching his shit. He's not trying to make any type of change at all. Yeah, so he's not trying to make any type of progress or not doing anything for any type of good, right? He does his stupid Trump voice, right? And so anyone who may have been slightly interested in maybe hearing what Springsteen would say, they turn the channel off. I almost turned the channel off, and I'm a huge Springsteen fan, right? Well, this guy's a douche. And so, so late night TV, they're doing nothing positive. You're pandering to the advertisers and to the people who already think like you. You're driving zero change. The cable news networks, regardless of which one it is, right? You turn on Fox News, you turn on CNN, you're watching two different worlds, two different Americas. It's just pointless. I hate it. It's un-American. They should all be taken off the fucking air, put Tom and Jerry cartoons on, Three Stooges, and sports, and let's fucking rock and roll. That's what I have to say.
Can the Bachelorette still stay on? Or?
Bachelorette can stay. Yeah, that's American too.
Okay.
But that's the problem. So Trump thinks he's a fucking TV character. Trump, if he would just shut the fuck up, the country would be so much further along, so much more united. Sure. Just shut up. Just shut up and do your fucking job.
Here's the deal. Trump is maybe the biggest egomaniac on the planet, right? And I think one of Trump's goals is to be in the limelight and have everyone talking about him, right? And you learn this as a parent. Kids want your attention.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if they're doing something good or bad, they want your attention. So if they only get your attention when you're doing something bad or they're doing something bad, they kind of get what they want.
Yep.
And I was actually thinking about this recently. Over the last, how long have I been here in the States? 25 years. I would say over the last 22 years, let's say, I never woke up, I woke up in the morning and I couldn't even immediately tell you who the president was. It wasn't important.
No.
And now it's kind of like, fuck, what did he do last night? What did he tweet out? What's going on? What's the next big thing? And it's just in your face all the time.
My Make America Badass Again hat, right?
Uh-huh.
And you said to me earlier, you can't really wear that on camera because someone's not going to take the time to read it. They're just going to look at it. They're going to assume what it says. And then it's going to piss 50% of the fucking country off. And if they read it, it'll piss the other 50% of the country off. It doesn't, what kind of friggin' world is that? It's ridiculous. What do people want? What do people want? What do all people want? They want to feel safe, right? They don't want to be fucking hungry. All right, they want to feel like they're making progress and moving towards something. Everybody wants the same things.
Right.
It's annoying.
Yeah. This is the first, again, I was talking to my father-in-law recently because I would say I'm 44, for the last 42, the original 42 years of my life, I'm not saying that right, but the vast majority of my life.
First 42 years.
I haven't really had any sort of interest in politics. And I have more of an interest now. And I don't know if it's because I'm just older and I should be more interested in
it's also getting shoved down your throat now.
Or if it's because it's just such a circus now and you can't get away from it. Yeah. But at the same time, how many 21-years are really following politics right now? Probably not a lot of them.
No, they like the drama.
Maybe.
Which is why it's not a place for drama. You see, you don't have the Instagram. I have the Instagram, and you can see a lot of the college kids, and they'll wear their Make America Great Again hats, or they'll wave their Biden flags. They have no real clue, but they can vote.
Yep.
They can vote.
So here's the thing, another thing that pisses me off right now with all that. I feel like historically, I could say, hey, Mike, I'm going to vote for Biden. And you might say, all right, that's interesting. I'm going to vote for Trump. And I might say, oh, why are you going for that guy? And you might say, why are you going for that guy, right?
We have a conversation.
Yeah, and you go, oh, I wonder if your guy's going to win or my guy's going to win. No one really knows.
I'm rooting for the Devil Rays. I'm rooting for the Okay, I don't
right.
fucking hate you because you're a
right.
Dodgers
Let's
fan.
still have a beer.
Yes.
Now people are not putting a sign in their yard because they're worried about getting their fucking house broke, a brick through the window and the car keyed.
Well, yeah, and I think that's going to, all these polls show Biden ahead. Well, I think people are afraid to fucking put a Trump sign in their yard because he's an asshole. I'm rooting for the asshole. Like they don't necessarily I'm going to save money in my taxes. Well, he's an asshole, but, so they're not putting a sign up. And they're not telling the pollster,
I was, I think Biden's way up in the polls, right? But I think Hillary was also a shoo-in.
So was Hillary, yep.
Right? I was playing golf with the guy this weekend, and he actually came up with a fairly good theory that, basically the polls are a lot closer than they look. And his point was that there's an awful lot of, clearly
I just got an email
Trump
from
is...
Trump.
Clearly, Trump is kind of anti-female, I would say, in general, right? If I'm a female...
Just grab him, yeah.
I'm probably not a huge fan, right?
Yep.
Okay, so his point was there's probably millions of husbands out there whose wife has said, who are you voting for? And just to have a pleasant evening, they're saying Biden because they don't want to get into that conversation.
Yeah.
However, once they get into that ballot room and they close the curtain, the
moment of truth.
No one's watching.
What do you do when no one's watching?
So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I personally think the majority of all politicians are arseholes.
Have you voted yet?
No, but only because I physically can't. I'm registered. This is the first time I'm ever going to vote.
Yeah, I know. This is a big deal for you. Yeah.
I was good to go, and then I got a notification yesterday that I still wasn't 100% ready to go, so I called the registrar.
Who sent the notification, Biden or Trump?
Kelly Cunliffe gave me the notification.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because I actually did
the real person in charge. Okay.
I had her do all of the legwork because, anyway, she said, you need to call the registrar's office because they're missing some information. So I called them yesterday, was on hold for a while, spoke to a very nice lady. She looked me up. She's like, yep, you're good to go. What's going on? I needed to send them my citizenship papers. So I did. I sent that last night.
Okay.
And the lady said that she will email me as soon as I'm activated and ready to go.
Nice. Good.
So this will be my first ever time voting in my life because I never voted in England.
Because you have a queen over there.
Exactly. You don't get a say so in that. I'd like Harry to be the next guy. It's actually a different thing, Mike.
Hey, this is a big first time for you, man.
It is.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
I'm going to give it a lot of thought.
Yes, good. Hey, you know what? As everyone should. Everyone should give it a lot of thought.
I think the strategy is, pick a nice afternoon, pull out one of those chairs that you tailgate with.
Yeah.
Close to the voting station. Crank through like a 12-pack of Natty
Throw down
Light.
some Natties, yep.
And
fire up the grill.
Just see how you feel.
Yeah.
And then go in.
They say a drunk man tells an honest man's truths.
A drunk man's words or a sober man's thoughts.
Yeah. So when are we doing that? Let's do that. I'm down. Yeah, I love.
Well, I gotta get the.
I love a good
first.
Tailgate. Let me know when you get the email. We'll do a little voting tailgate.
Yeah, voting tailgate. We could probably get.
For that. What's I got a good
Socially
one. What's the weirdest thing you ever tailgated for?
With you, for sure. Well, I've tailgated for a wrestling match. That's not that
That's
weird.
not weird. No, you gotta do that.
I know the answer, and you're going to tell me what the hell.
Well, I'm going
was
to tell you
it?
the weirdest thing I ever tailgated for. You weren't there. Fucking ballroom dance recital.
Wow.
So I was dating a girl, great girl. She was a ballroom dancer. And I don't even know if I was actually dating her at the time. I think we had broken up, and she was kind of seeing this new ballroom dance guy.
When you first met her, you go, "Hey, I'm Mike," and she was like, "Hey, I'm a ballroom dancer," and you said, "Oh, we're a match made in heaven."
Match
'cause
made
I
in
have
heaven.
Plenty of ballroom in my shorts.
She did ballroom dance recital.
Second dig.
And so we were at Knoxville,
On the ding.
Tennessee. We got to the recital. I think it was scheduled for 7 o'clock at night, something like that. We got there around 11 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Parking garage across from the big, Tennessee Theater in downtown Knoxville. We pounded, I don't even know how many beers, and cooked sausages, and it was a beautiful Saturday. And had college football on the radio, because it was before you could actually watch stuff on your phone. And then hammered, go into the ballroom dance recital. And we were fairly unruly. And old KG, our buddy KG, decided not to go into the dance recital. He went to one of the sports bars that was next to the parking garage, and Tennessee was playing Kentucky college football. And so, needless to say, by the second quarter of the ballroom dance thing, which I don't know if they have quarters, how they do that, but
Halftime.
yeah, halftime, we were at the friggin' bar watching the game.
Of course.
And it didn't work out with that girl, but she was nice.
Oh, well. Do you know the strangest thing I've tailgated for? Because I feel like I did tailgate with you one time, and I'm thinking, I can't believe we were tailgating for this. I feel like we were on a roof somewhere.
We tailgated for WrestleMania on the rooftop pool at your old condo. We did that. We tailgated for a football game that we didn't go to for KG's bachelor party, Georgia
right.
Tech football game. We went and tailgated, and then we went bowling, and I blew out my ankle, right? And,
Not bowling, but coming out of the bowling
coming out of the
alley.
bowling alley. Like, I got shot. I went down hard. And then I had to have the rest of the night, the working ladies at the other establishments that we went to took turns icing my ankle.
Because it was a bachelor.
Because it was a bachelor party, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. So maybe reiterate that for.
Yeah. For anyone who's listening.
It wasn't like a standard, let's go
no,
bowling.
No, and it was 10 years ago. We don't do that stuff anymore. Bowl or go to those places. Still tailgate.
However, rolling
To
our
vote.
ankle was very much on the card.
That's it. It could happen as soon as we walk out of this room. I tell you, hey, we're still good because I went through all my topics. I can see your topics are all checked off also over there.
Yeah. Yeah, what other topics do we have? I mean, I feel like there's a lot going on right now. Where do you start?
Wait, so Baker's got this little deck of cards here. Let's see here. We were messing with this earlier. The pod deck. It actually reminded me of a funny story as well from
Pod deck?
but the deck, just the deck period. We were in Arizona at R&R, and I had a nice room, like a suite with a big deck.
Huge deck.
Huge deck. And kept talking about the size of my deck all weekend. And you thought that I brought that girl's mom, who was an amputee, who lost a leg, up onto my deck. I didn't. It did not happen. But that was the word going around. That was the gossip at the time.
Yeah, God, that's one from the
I
archives.
just thought about that.
You did hook up with her, by the way.
I did not. We played bingo together. She was like 60. With one
Was she
leg.
missing a leg?
I think she was missing a leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
You know.
I said, I'm not helping myself out here because you're like, how did you know she didn't have a leg?
You know. Remember that South African guy, Oster Pretorius,
Yeah.
the Blade Runner.
Yep.
You know, and it's very interesting because he came out of nowhere, was super famous, did what he did, and then it disappeared again, right? And everyone kind of forgot about him.
You say did what he did. He killed his freaking girlfriend.
Well, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Do that
But
or winning that?
my point is, when he went to court, he originally got off. And it's, I didn't think he had a leg to stand on. But anyway, then he went back to trial, and he's in prison now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. The election special. This is our election special episode, right?
Oh,
Michelle?
it is officially?
It's officially the election special. I
Get
voted.
out there and vote. That's the main thing.
That's
you know, I don't think you can complain no matter what side you're on. You cannot complain unless you throw your name in the hat. And this happens all the time. It's called the law of diffusion, Mike.
Yes.
No
Diffusion of
one
responsibility.
raindrop blames themselves for the flood, right? So a lot of people who don't vote, they have this opinion of, what, it doesn't matter, everyone else is going to vote, so I don't need to. And that's how you end up with
70 million. I read it this morning. 70 million people
already voted.
Have already voted.
Yeah, I
that's
all-time record.
half. That's half of the total that voted in the last election. So people are engaged. So if you are happy with what's going on, vote. If you are unhappy, vote. But we're fortunate to have that option. You know.
Yeah.
That's it, and it's everything. It's if you're happy with what you see on TV at night, if you're happy with what you experience when you're walking down the street or when you're at the grocery store, do something about it. And this is the first step. So we'll see who steps up.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you a little story, Mike.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
So, little kids, elementary school, would take these standardized tests, okay?
Number 2 pencil.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example of where I'm going with this, okay? Kids in New York City would have this test, and it would say, where does milk come from? Okay? And they would answer from a carton or from a plastic jug of milk, right? Kids out in the country might answer from a cow. Mm-hmm. They're both right.
Correct.
And depending on what TV channel you're watching, you think you're going to be right.
Yep.
You probably ain't.
Yep.
And I'm saying that on both sides. I mean, like, you probably don't know what the hell's going on.
We learned a long time managing young people, that there's always 2 sides to every story, and the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle.
3 sides to the story. What he said, what she said, what actually happened.
Yep. And so that is a good lesson to keep in our minds. And that's why you got to use your goddamn brain. Use your brain. Otherwise, you're just a fucking sheep being told what to do, which is what these news channels and these politicians try to do. People are sheep by nature. They want to be told what to do, but this is dangerous, And so people have to think, they have to use their brains, and they have to make good decisions, which is.
And can I address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Both candidates, unfortunately, are quite shit.
They suck. It's fairly embarrassing. That's the best we fucking have is these 2 guys.
340 million people.
Yeah, no shit. But who would want the fucking job? You're The Rock. You want that job? No, fuck no. Bill Gates, you want that? No, I don't want to fucking do that job. That sucks.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, this guy's a nice guy, but he doesn't really seem like he's got all of his marbles together. Yeah, but he seems like a solid cat.
Nice dude. Go have a beer with him.
If I wanted somebody to, babysit my kids for,
I don't know about that, but
you get the point.
If I'm dating his granddaughter, he's a nice grandpa to have,
Yeah.
And then Trump, he's not a nice grandpa to have. I don't know if I'd want to be the same bloodline as him, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's kind of how I feel about all of this. Yeah. So I guess we won't actually know anything on November the second, third.
November the 3rd. Get out and vote. If you don't do it sooner, but we ain't gonna know anything for a minute.
10 days.
Yeah. Imagine the battles between Fox and CNN to be the first one to break the winner of the election.
Charts, pie charts.
Oh, and touch screen. Oh, look, if this guy votes this way, then this state goes to this person, which means this, and then the guy in China eats a bat and you fucking die.
Well, except this year it's going to be... it's looking like this, except if somebody fucking hacks into the system from Russia, and then all of it is the computer virus has now eaten up 47 million votes.
That's where we're
You
going.
can throw it all out the window, or can you? Did it happen? Who knows?
At the end of the day, Amazon's going to run everything anyway.
Sure.
That's it. Amazon will run everything with their cyber nets and their robots.
and
Yeah,
drones.
like it's coming. This is all just smoke and mirrors before the robots take over. So we need Arnold. I'll be back. Well, now's the fucking time, Arnold. It's fucking go time, buddy.
Come
Get
back.
ready.
Come
Yep.
back.
Yeah, now. Come from the future. And that, maybe that's the thing. I imagine at some point, unless we destroy the planet totally and all die,
Which we're on track.
We're on
to
track
do
to
that.
do that. Yeah. But
Well, we're on track to destroy the planet and basically spend so much money that you can't catch up.
oh yeah, who's gonna cash in on the $26 trillion? Like, hey, we need that now. About that $26 trillion. But yeah. So barring the catastrophic end of the world,
Sure.
if we stick around, we'll figure out how to travel through time. And no one's been back to stop this shit yet. So maybe we're all right.
I lost you there at the end, but I've been confused for
no
the
one
last
from
7 or 8 months. So
No one from the future has come back to change this. So we're either all going to die or it's not that bad yet. So buckle up for the next 7 or 8 months.
I saw somebody wearing a T-shirt about a month ago, and it was a picture of the Back to the Future DeLorean, and it said, "Whatever you do, Marty, don't go back to 2020." Which is kind of funny.
We get to live through it.
Yeah, it's gonna go down in history as it always does.
In other words, other news. Just edit that part out.
In another thought,
Another thought. I have one thought at a time, apparently. The Little League Marauders playoffs start Saturday.
that's what matters.
All right. Yep. So, with all the other craziness, there's kids who play baseball and who go get frogs out of the creek.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. So.
Yep, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go play with my boys for a little bit. I'm gonna go out to dinner with my wife. I'm gonna eat a nice meal, drink a couple of glasses of wine. I'm going to probably have a few conversations with people along the way. That's what life's all about.
And when you wake up in the morning, doesn't matter who the president is.
Right. You might be paying a little bit more on your taxes. You might be paying less. Other countries might like you more or less. The healthcare system might be shit or shitter.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all goes back to the golden rule, Michael.
Treat others as you would like to be treated.
Yeah. I would like to be treated by somebody that would actually go grab me another Natty Light right now.
That's why Michelle makes the big bucks. Big bucks.
All right. Next time we chat, we'll probably be in communist China.
Yeah, or Sweden, where no one
That's
gives a fuck about
exciting.
anything. One or the other.
Yeah, we're either going to be in communist China. Either way, I think we're all going to be riding bicycles.
With masks on.
And we might be paying 78% in taxes, at which point everyone's going to be home from work at like 4 o'clock and just say, fuck it.
Be good for residential sales, baby.
Bingo. As always, Michael, a pleasure.
Indeed, my
Been
friend.
too long.
Salud.
Cheers. It's only funny.
Because it's true.